As much as I love my Orient Ray 2, I bought it with the idea of doing some upgrades to it. It's a cheap way of getting into a Japanese-made watch with an in-house movement, making a few upgrades to things you're not maybe quite happy with, or just you like to tinker with watches. I got my Orient Ray brand new from Amazon for £123. There's still some Mako 2s and some Ray 2s available now for not much more than £100. So I thought it's great base for doing mods on. So I bought the bits from Namoki, and this is how I did it. Let's get down to business. First thing I want to do is take this bracelet off. So to pop this bezel off, I was going to use a bit of something protective just to pop it. But this, with me experimenting using this, I literally just pushed it, didn't even have to twist or anything. I pushed it there just to get this under it, and it popped. And that is it. That was easy as that. That was very good. Good opportunity as that's off just to give this a little bit of a clean. So good for cleaning is this Rodico made by Bergeon, and this is just something I've got which is good for general purpose cleaning. Now I'm just going to dab a bit of lube on there, but you know what? I'm going to just check the new bezel to make sure everything lines up and looks okay. But here is the new bezel, and the reason why I got this is because it accepts SKX inserts. This is actually for a Seiko SKX 007, and those kind of parts are abundant for choice, and I went for this just because it's something totally different. And the original one, as you can see, it's got this unusual notching effect going on here. There's not really any aftermarket bezel inserts available for the Orient. So this is the solution. Costs a little bit more, but it means you've got a lot of versatility for the future. So this is the brand new bezel, just checking. As you can see, it has got a ring already in there, a gasket. So I don't have to put any in there. So I've got some silicone grease just on the end of this stick I use. God, focus is terrible. Yes, this stick, and I'm just going to dab it. One there, another bit there. Any surplus I could just push about in there, really doesn't matter. And if I want to be really very particular, run a bit on this gasket as well, just rub it in. So there, bit of lube on there. Now I've just got to line this up on here, give it a wiggle till you feel like it's not got any play either way. And then I'm just going to use a press that you normally use for pushing the crystal out, which is what I will do shortly. Press that in. So this is part of the kit. I'll put a link in the description where you get these kind of things. This is a crystal press and things like that. It's useful for loads of jobs, so this is one of them. So in the box you get loads of different size ones of these things. And I've found this one that fits within and perfectly inside that bezel insert there. Hopefully it should just be a case of I push this down. I don't know if I've done it or not. I see it's a bit uneven. See, it's not seated in squares, so it's got to keep going. It's quite a loud snap. God, it was loud. Sounded like I broke it, but oh my god, that's beautiful. Oh, that's better than the standard one. God, it was a loud snap. I must say, that scared me. I thought, oh crap, I blooming broke my watch, but no. Now, so just in case I forget later, I'm going to clean any residue on the inside of this bezel insert here. I'm not going to put the bezel insert in yet. That'd be the last job, because I'm going to wait till I've done the crystal, because I'm going to be pushing the crystal out. I don't want to have a bezel insert in there that's going to be very close to the edge of this crystal when I push it out and then put the new one in. I don't want to interfere with that and possibly break my new bezel insert, because that's made of glass. So next job will be to remove the case back. After I've done that, I will be putting finger cots on to prevent any contamination. I'm going to put my plastic on here. I use that so in case I slip with my case back removal tool, I'm less likely to scratch the case. Now what I'm going to do is put this in a movement holder or a watch holder. There we are. Got these set up a bit better, so I should get a better purchase on this. So plastic back, put that on there. Yeah, so much easier. There's me struggling doing it without being held in this, and then I can just remove this by finishing off with a stick or something that's not going to scratch it. You can either with your fingertips carefully remove this and keep a note of not losing this gasket. Put that aside with the case back. So I'll put that over here. I'm going to use carbon fiber tweezers to pick this up. I will re-lubricate that as well. So when I put it back in, it's just make sure it's got a good seal again. So here it is, movement ticking away. And it's nice to see, you know, look, on the Orient, you don't have a plastic movement holder, you've got a metal one. How nice is that? I didn't realise. And while we're here, as the case back is off, I'm just going to start by just gently cleaning around the edges here. When I pop the back off, I mean the movement out, there's less likely to be any sort of contamination going in around the watch and things like that. So finger cots are on, so I'm going to be taking the movement out of this watch now. So aside ready, I've got my movement holder. Then I've got a pin, which is what I use normally, one of these pinboard pins, to push on the release hole thingy-majiggy, which I'll show you. So don't scratch the watch, get this in here, place that on there. You just feel it seating. Get one so it seats it in place. It's not moving at all. It will push and only push against the crystal. So a little firm little push. That's it. A little pop sound. Let's take a look. As you can see, standard crystal. The gasket is not attached to the standard mineral crystal. I'll show you. I haven't looked at the case yet. Let's go and take a look at that. The gasket for the crystal should be in the case. Yeah, there it is. It's in there already. Now the new crystal comes with a new gasket. Let's get this out of here. That's the new gasket. The new crystal is in here. And I went for a domed sapphire because I wanted it to, first of all, just have a little bit more of a vintage aesthetic. This is why it's good to wear finger cots. So this is the crystal code with clear AR. I didn't want any snazzy colours. I'll try and get this gasket out. There we are. I just literally squeezed it and it popped out. So put that aside with the old mineral crystal. I've sussed actually. I carefully pulled the new gasket that's already on the crystal into the case first. I've never done a crystal before with a gasket, so I'm showing you as I learn really. I've done things similar, so I'm not a total amateur, but I am an amateur, remember that, if anyone has never seen me before. Now I can pick the crystal back up from over here and place it where it needs to go. Rotating, pressing, firmly but not overdoing it, otherwise you break it, which I really don't want to do. Now let's check it for how flat and level it is. I can give everything a clean up and polish and a dust and put it all back together. So now I've got all the little bits and bobs cleaned from inside the crystal and any dust that's gathered there for whatever reason. It's time to reassemble the watch. It's just the same in reverse. So let's do that. One quick puff before I put it all back together. Gently place this over the top. Again, one more final puff just for good measure. Place it over. Flip it. And put the crown back in. The crown's back in, just going to check its action's okay. It's all good. Now, to lubricate this gasket that goes on the back of the watch, let's get one of these greasing pads for gaskets and seals. Place it in there. A few little turns, and that's lubricated it. So I can place this back in here. Position it back in the little groove that it lives in here. Now I can put the case back on. Screw the case back on. Firm but not over tight. That's it. Now it's ready for the last two jobs. First of all, I'm just cleaning the inside of this. Oh, my light's gone disco. Sod's law, I didn't have any more stickers. Fudged it up too much. So I'm going to use this hyper cement. I already had this ready just in case, and this is the same thing. When it goes off, it's exactly the same as these 3M stickers that hold things in place. So let's careful bead inside here, inside the bezel. Now make sure the bezel's not on half a click or anything like that. Then place your bezel insert in place, and because this doesn't go off immediately, I can just drop it in, and then from above I'm carefully sighting it in place so I can just twist it gently. Oh, bloody light. A little bit of excess residue there, which I'll clean off. It's not like super glue or anything, it's not bad. So let's give it a buff. So a little bit of excess there. I'm just going to fine tune and tweak this bezel insert. I'm going to gently press it as well. So let's get it on one of my absolute top sellers that I sell in my store. This is the Icon. FKM rubber, really gorgeous grade of rubber. Let's put it on this watch. So there we are. Oh, I'm so happy how this came out. It is spot on. I put a black strap on so it works with contrast to the black dial, and then for the splash of colour, the golf colours, vintage colours as well. And it just goes with it so well. And I've got a lovely little bit of, you could just see a little bit of the bevel of the crystal. If you didn't want to see that, you could use the regular sloped design for the bezel insert. But then this is kind of a glass, old-fashioned domed insert, but it just works. I'm so happy with it. And this bezel itself is actually better than the standard one for feel, and it's beautiful 120 click action on there, and I've got it to line up absolutely perfectly. The beauty of using those hyper cement is you've got a bit of play to line it up before it goes off. We're going to take a closer look at this now with some loom. That is why I got this insert as well. Look at that loom, and it's the same color as the standard loom. Oh, let's turn the lights out proper and get a real good effect. Oh, lovely. So pleased with that. Look at the loom. Beautiful. So I'm so pleased how this came out. Better bezel feel, different bezel inserts I can change out really easily. Dome sapphire crystal, what a winner. Everything that I wanted to slightly improve from the original Ray 2 has been done. And if I get bored of this bezel insert or fancy a change up, it can be done quite easily. So what more could you ask for? It's been a fun project to share with you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, thumbs up, like, subscribe, join the gang. It'd be a pleasure to share more of my content with you, and hit the notification bell and you get to see new stuff when it drops. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.